right. So as you can tell from the trailer and the title, what I watched for this Wild Eye Wednesday is Harvest of Horrors. A couple out for a drive in the country share some scary stories to keep each other entertained. It's got a 5.2. I'd probably give it about a 6. I enjoyed it a bit more than that. Cast includes Tara O'Neill Andrews as Dave's wife, Julio Bana Fernandez as Seth, Jason John Beebe as Nate, Whitney Causey Benson as Angel, Daniel Brooks as Clint, Maddie Calhoun as construction worker, Jeremy Clark as the doctor, Matthew L. Furman as Daniel, Anna Eliza S. Gale as Raven, Jesse L. Green as Paw and motel owner, Luba Hansen as Maddie, Daniel Johnson as Preston Miller, Nicholas Knight as Casson, might be saying that wrong, Alex Kokovich as Austin, CJ Mack as Alex, Rosanna Nelson as Gwen, Sean C. Phillips as radio broadcaster, Yasmin Quota as Lori, Darren Ricci as Eric, Bethany Shanna as mental patient, Heather Toth as writer, Lester Trombone as clown, Damian Valentine as Skeeter, Amber Lee Vincent as Chelsea, Gary Lee Vincent as Trenton, and Nadia White as Sarah. It was directed by Clint Drago. I hope I said that right. I'm sorry. He was also the writer along with Todd Martin. And go ahead and stick around and I'll tell you a little bit more what it's about and my thoughts. Alright, so as you saw, I watched Harvest of Horrors. I'll go ahead and read the back. It's got a little bit more description than what it did on Internet Movie Database. It says, from the makers of Killer Campout and Wrestle Massacre, a young couple out for a drive in the country have their car break down in the middle of nowhere. As they wait for help, they pass the time telling each other gruesome and gore-soaked stories of killer ghost clowns, sex-starved vampires, backwoods degenerates, and more to keep themselves entertained. So I really enjoyed this one. I like anthologies. So, of course, this is one of my top movies. Well, not top movies, but top genre of horror movies. I really enjoy anthologies. The description on the back is a little bit different. Basically, it's this couple who, the boyfriend kind of reminds me of like a Jason Mewes character, Jay, kind of a little bit smart alecky, making jokes throughout the movie. They're driving, I believe it's West Virginia, because the radio announcer was saying how escaped mental patient who was a killer escaped. So, of course, they're going to be in that general area. Kind of remind me of Wrong Turn a little bit. They're going to this bonfire. So they didn't start telling the stories when they broke down. They were already talking about stories were brought up while they're driving. They were just continued on. The boyfriend says what's going to be going on at the bonfire because she's like, why are we going? And he's like, get drunk, tell scary stories. And she's saying how she didn't know any. So he was saying how he'll be nice and give her a couple of ideas or share some stories that he knows. So the first one is about this guy named Daniel. This girl moved in next door, this little girl, Chelsea. And, he thought he would be nice and welcome her to the neighborhood. And I can't go too much into each of these stories, of course. It's an hour and 10 minutes. But basically what happens, she's upset because her cat, Bitsy, won't come out of the closet. So he agrees to come in and help out. But, kindness doesn't always pay. Bitsy isn't your normal kitten. I'll just leave it at that. The next story we got is about a couple who move into this house. And there's either some ghosts or demons. There's a clown spirit. You'll see some different ghosts in the house. And there's a reason why people are moved into that house. The next story, the girlfriend tells, she finally thought of one. This is after basically what happens when they're on their way to this bonfire. They run out of gas, and so they decide to walk the rest of the way. The girlfriend tells a story about these ghost hunters who are invited to check out this like little mini hotel. It's like 2 stories. I guess it's apartment complex, something like that. And the hotel, well, whoever owns it, the place is total shit. It's like trash painted. It smells. One of the ghost hunters that's there was saying how it needs a little TLC and then a hell of a lot TLC, tender love and care, because this place is like a total disaster. And they start getting picked off one by one, but there's a little twist to it. The next story the boyfriend tells, there's kind of like a I spit on your grave, rape revenge. So if that bothers you, you might want to either skip that story or not watch it. I mean, you can still watch the movie, but there is like a brutal rape scene between these 2 girlfriends, and this one of them is the sister of the 2 victims, and she gets her murderous revenge on these country backside weirdos. Their acting's kind of cheesy, but throughout the movie, you got a lot of good gore. I mean, you're getting face ripped off, intestines, male body parts. I mean, blood, hearts ripped out. I mean, it's extremely gory movie. It is a Wild Eye raw and extreme. And of course, there is nudity in it as well. So she, like I said, she goes all I spit on your grave revenge style in that portion. The last one story we got, he tells there's a bachelor party, and the one guy, he's like kind of nervous about his fiance. Like, he's totally changed since he's started going out with her. He's not his normal self, and his friends are trying to get him to relax, have a good time. And, you know, he promised his fiance, you know, he won't get too crazy. He won't invite any other women over or anything like that. And of course, you know, his friends do that anyway, even though it was supposed to be just a chill guy's weekend, just to get away from the fiance. And they're trying to tell him, one of them is, you know, telling him how he's changed and trying to, you know, get him to relax and don't worry about her. She won't find out. And he's freaking out because he was like, she'll kill me. And turns out, of course, the women, you see it in the trailer, they end up being vampires. So you can kind of figure where that goes. For this type of budget, I'm not sure what the budget was, but the vampire effects were decent. The gore, you know, as they're hooking up with the guys, they turn on them and start killing them in certain ways. And there is of course, as all of them, there's a twist to it. So you'll just have to watch and find out. There may be something worse than the vampires in it. Who knows? I do, but you'll just have to watch. And then the story wraps up. The last story, you know, they're on their way to the bonfire. And they just might run into that killer that was mentioned in the radio. So it kind of connects from the beginning. They got their own story within a story. I like the ending. It was interesting, not what I expected, but definitely one worth checking out. Like I said, the effects in it, lots of gore. You'll really enjoy it. Be warned, though, if you are sensitive, you know, to rape revenge movies. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. The acting was decent. Some of it, you know, as usual, not as good as others. But overall, I liked it. Like I said, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Maybe a 7. It's definitely rewatchable. One you should definitely check out. And if you've seen it, let me know your thoughts down below. Be sure to check out everyone else who's doing Wild Eye Wednesday. I'll leave a link down below for Wild Eye. Definitely check out their movies. They got some good stuff. As I always say, you know, Amazon, Tubi, eBay, Walmart. Definitely track them down. Add the DVDs to your collection. And that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.